Astita Janakadayah Lokasangrahamevapi Sampashyan Kartumarhasi Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim Astita Janakadayah Lokasangrahamevapi Sampashyan Kartumarhasi. Translation: Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by the performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. Hare Krishna. So, it's a very practical chapter for all of us to understand. See, we saw in the previous classes, karma means action, that is fruitive action. See, everybody is working in this world to get some result. Whereas yoga means to link up with the Supreme Lord. So what we should do, link up our result of work with Krishna. That is called Karma Yoga. Yoga means linking up with the Supreme. In Karma, when it is linked up with Krishna, that is called Karma Yoga. So the purport of this verse 3.20, Prabhupada says, kings like Janaka were all self-realized souls. And consequently, they had no obligation to perform the prescribed duties in the Vedas. However, they performed all prescribed duties just to set examples for the people in general. Janaka was the father of Mother Sita and father-in-law of Lord Sri Ram. So being a great devotee of the Lord, he was transcendently situated. But because he was the king of Mithila, which is a subdivision of Bihar province in India, he had to teach his subjects how to perform prescribed duties. See, Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the Lord's eternal friend, had no need to fight in the battle. But they fought to teach people in general that violence is also necessary in a situation where good arguments fail. See, before the battle of Kurukshetra, every effort was made to avoid the war, even by the Supreme Lord of Krishna, but the other party was determined to fight. So for such a right cause, there is a necessity for fight. Although one who is situated in Krishna consciousness may not have any interest in this world, he still works to teach the public how to live and how to act. So experienced persons in Krishna consciousness can act in such a way that others will follow, and this is the most important thing to understand. See, once Lord Ramachandra, he was sitting with Srimati Sita Devi and brother Lakshmana. Of course, the great devotee Hanuman was sitting at the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra and was chanting his holy names with his eyes closed. Lord Ramachandra asked Hanumanji with a smile, "My dear Hanuman, I am here in front of you, but instead of looking at me, you are chanting my name with closed eyes. Why is that?" Hanuman opened his eyes and replied, "My Lord, by seeing you, many were liberated by seeing you, many were liberated. But many more were liberated just by chanting your holy names." See, pure devotees are so called because of their behavior and attitude towards fallen souls. Their only aim of life is to lead everyone to the loving service of the lotus feet of the Lord. That's why Bhagavad Gita is one example where Arjuna is asking questions to the Lord. He's a Param Bhakta. He's completely submissive and knows that Krishna is Bhagavan. But still, he has asked the questions which enlighten us and answer the doubts which are created in our concocted minds. Parikshit Maharaj is another example. Parikshit Maharaj had seen the Lord while he was in the womb of his mother. And his liberation was sure, guaranteed. After being cursed by the Brahmana boy, instead of staying back in the palace with relatives and lamenting on his last days, he decided to renounce everything and sat for hearing the glories of the Lord on the banks of the Ganges. And all that was spoken and heard during those 7 days in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, it has liberated millions of souls, and it will continue to do so until there are no conditioned souls remaining. So Srimad Bhagavad Gita 3.20 shows another instance of the action of a pure devotee. That's why we saw on the translation, kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by the performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. That's what Prabhupada says in the purport. No, kings like Janaka were all self-realized souls, and they had no obligation to perform the prescribed duties. However, they performed all prescribed activities just to set examples for the people in general. See, let us see the importance of chanting. See, by doing sincere chanting, to lead us to the path of liberation. We find the glories of chanting all over in Srimad Bhagavatam. And one such verse is 6th canto, 3rd chapter, 24th verse, where Yamaraj instructs his messengers. Therefore, it should be understood that one is easily relieved from all sinful reactions by chanting the holy name of the Lord and chanting of his qualities and activities. This is the only process recommended for relief from sinful reactions. See, Yamaraj is telling, even if one chants the holy name of the Lord with improper pronunciation, he will achieve the relief from material bondage if he chants without offenses. Ajamila, for example, he was extremely sinful, but while dying, he merely chanted the holy name. Although calling his son, he achieved complete liberation because he remembered the name of Narayana. That's why Srila Prabhupada's purport on this verse is very powerful, where he mentions that there is no need of any proof of strength of chanting. And in one paragraph, Prabhupada says, even if in the beginning one chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra with offenses, one will become free from such offenses by chanting again and again. So one can become free from all sinful reactions simply by remembering the lotus feet of the Lord day and night. How? By following the recommendations of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who quoted the verse, no? Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Kevalam. Kalau nastyeva, 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 gatiranyatha. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. If the members of the Krishna conscious movement strictly follow this recommendation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their position will always be secure. See, we are very sure that no one in this world will give this kind of assurance other than Krishna and his pure devotees. See, the rules, laws, and rights made by the rulers in this material world, they neither have any such solution which will stop the criminals from repeating the crimes, nor clear them from offenses in their past life. Correct? So in this material world, once you are a criminal, people will always treat you as a criminal. The assurance of cleansing your sins and coming back to pious life can only be given by Krishna and his own pure devotees, especially Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or his pure devotees like Prabhupada and Guru. Using a simple tool of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So only Krishna can shower mercy on the sin personified individual, as stated by Ajamila, right? And struggling souls like all of us. So let us at least sincerely pray to Supreme Lord Krishna, Srila Prabhupada and Gurus to bestow their mercy upon us so that our mind accepts the fact that we have no other duty than chanting his holy names. See, every one of us in this material world has been assigned certain duties by Krishna. He knows our abilities very well, what we can handle and what we cannot, and has accordingly distributed the duties. So we should try to perform them very nicely, meticulously. So even if we fail in our attempts to accomplish the task, the Lord will be pleased when one makes sincere efforts to perform the same. See, the failures which we come across would be lessons for us to improve ourselves in future. See, on the contrary, if we don't do our duty, rather spend the valuable energy and time which is provided by Krishna in completing, and if you use that for completing others' duties perfectly, you surely get into trouble. So the most merciful Krishna, taking into account our forgetful nature, is repeatedly stressing on this fact, especially in 35th verse, which will come across later on, where he says, it is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than another's duties perfectly. So distraction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties. For to follow another's path is dangerous. And 18.47 Bhagavad Gita says, it is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions. Beautiful translation which is given in that 18.47. See, we might wonder, what could be the danger or sinful reaction that would affect us in performing others' duties? Correct. This question will be there. Number one, the first obvious danger is we are the ones who will be held answerable for neglecting our prescribed duties. See, be it the boss in this material world, or in company, corporate world, or Supreme Lord, both of them would be displeased. We cannot provide them lame excuses that we are busy doing others' duties and hence we were not able to complete ours. That is the first one. Second point. One point to be noted is by doing others' duties, we are not helping them. Please understand. By doing others' duties, we are not helping them. Rather, we are depriving the opportunity of their progress. By performing their prescribed duties, we make them lazy. We can guide others, but not land up doing everything ourselves. As the saying goes, tough seas make efficient sailors. So we should not interfere in others' duties. The practical example could be that of parents doing the homework for their children. Any parent who is serious about child's progress would not do this mistake, as they very well know that the child would not gain knowledge if they keep doing the child's assignments. See, we might have also seen how much the pupa struggles inside the cocoon before it turns into a beautiful butterfly. So if we try to cut open the cocoon ourselves, we only hurt the butterfly, as its wings would be of less strength and hence would be short-lived. On the other hand, when it comes out on its own, its wings will be fully developed and strong. So let us all abide by the words of the Supreme Lord Krishna, understanding his instructions without any misinterpretation, and perform our prescribed duties carefully. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much, Mataji, for giving this opportunity to glorify the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.